Today I'm in the Algarve, southern Portugal summer playground for a trip on the very popular regional from Lagos to Faro. Beaches, sunscreen and holiday plans all have a room in this 60 years old train modernized in the 1990s. Stick around, there's the train and why these old-timers received a new lease of life, rail history, scenery and sea views. Come along! Hi and welcome to Lagos. The station you're seeing opened in 2003 to replace the original 1922 building. This one is modern, bright and quite practical for the Algarve weather. But wander a little and soon we find a touch of the old times in the form of this old timetable stand. There's a waiting room in the modern style of the station and, believe it or not, an old coin phone. Not a common sight these days. But let's go outside and find our train, a CP Class 450 originally from the 1960s. I'll tell you why they were modernized a little later, but for now, let's walk alongside and talk a little about this decades-old train. This is a 2-car diesel multiple unit with a top speed of 120 km per hour. Not fast, but okay for regional hops and frequent stops. They began life in 1965 as Class 400, and by the 1990s CP decided to give them a second life. The refit added modern interiors, air conditioning, new Cummins engines replacing the original Rolls-Royces, new transmissions and a handful of other technical upgrades to improve reliability and comfort. One thing where their age and old-school design shows is in the couplers. They are the buffer and chain couplers rather than the automatic couplers common nowadays. So, what you're seeing here is old bones with newer manners. Let's climb aboard and use this time here at Lagos, with almost no passengers on board, to tour the interior. Starting in one hand, the old luggage and freight area has been converted for bike transport. Moving forward, there's the passenger space the 1990s refit gave them, brighter and with a cleaner look than the original, but honestly, a bit dated today. No power sockets, no USB ports, no individual reading lights, just plain seats. They're not luxurious by any stretch, but okay for a short regional hop. Overhead are luggage racks, and the ample windows allow for great views of the passing scenery, which, being honest, is the real entertainment on this trip. It's practical, a little Spartan, and exactly what these trains were updated to be 30 years ago. Comfortable enough for a short trip. Time to leave Lagos. And as usual upon departure, today's trip map. So, why did CP decide to modernize these trains in the mid-1990s? By then, the Class 400s had decades of service behind them, and the Class 600s were also showing their age, but the fleet still needed reliable diesel trains for lines without electrification, like here in the Algarve. At the same time, there were plans to electrify much of the network, so buying brand new diesels didn't make much sense. The solution was a mid-life upgrade. Keep the strong proven bodies, but give them all new insides. And that's how the Class 450 was born. Old frames, new lease of life. Now, this is no Intercidades, CP's long-distance trains, with more comfort, fewer stops and higher speeds. But this service is locally important. It links the towns here affordably and, for the most part, reliably. It also connects the towns on this side of Tunis, where we'll be in a minute, to the fast services north to Lisbon. Compared with similar services in other Western European countries, you'll spot the differences, of course. In many other countries, regional trains have newer stock and more onboard amenities. Here, the Class 450 is simpler and yes, obviously dated, but it does the job. And sometimes, that's exactly what you need. The line passes through several orange groves, like this one, and I don't want to let this pass without a word about them. The Algarve citrus go back to the Moors 1500 years ago, and this sunny climate makes the fruit famously sweet. You'll find them in markets everywhere in the region and also abroad, as oranges are one of the major exports here. With all this, we're already arriving at Tunis, a little town whose main claim to fame is the railway. Tunis station is the junction that links the Algarve to the rest of Portugal's rail network. Passengers from Lagos, Portimão, Silves and the rest of the towns we passed change here for the fast services to Lisbon, being this a very easy same platform connection. As for me, I'm staying on board. This Class 450 continues all the way to Faro, the region's capital and my final destination for today. Our next stop is the summer destination city of Albufeira, where we pass an Alfa service bound for Lisbon. Perfect timing to talk a little about the history of this line. The railway across the Algarve is over a century old, but it didn't pop into existence all at once. The first stretch reached Faro in 1889, but then it slowly crept westward and eastward, linking towns almost one by one, as if the builders were enjoying the scenery a bit too much. Only by 1922, finally, the last gap between Ferragudo and Lagos, including the Arado River Bridge, was opened. For much of the 20th century, these trains were a vital economic and social link for the region, moving not just passengers, but also fish, both fresh and canned, fruits and vegetables, cereals, you name it. The whole thing was first steam and then diesel territory until 2004, when the section from Tunis to Faro was electrified, allowing Alfa Pendular tilting trains to reach the regional capital. Now, the rest of the line is getting the same treatment, and when that's done, these venerable Class 450s will move to other services, making way for electric multiple units. So, soon, this ride will be a thing of the past. Can it be considered history in motion? And finally, after about an hour and 45 minutes, here we are in Faro, the capital and largest city in the Algarve and the main gateway for passengers arriving to the region. From here, trains head east toward the Spanish border, west to Lagos and north to Lisbon, or just stop and let you wander straight into the city's historic streets. But for us, this is the end of the line on today's ride. Thanks for riding with me on today's journey all the way to the end. If you enjoyed the trip, don't forget to like, subscribe, share and drop a comment below. It really helps the channel grow and keeps these rail adventures rolling, always with a bit of history and technology. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you next week.